wanted to talk about the two franchises that right now that I feel are going downhill, which are the Denver Broncos and the Houston Texans. So which one is worse? Which one do you think has the highest mountain to climb?
That's a tough question. I think they're both in dire shape. I think what's more embarrassing to me is Denver. What's going on there? You know, you bring in Russell Wilson, spend all that money, and fail like miserably, you know, and he's getting clowned on and off the field. People taking shots at him, not just for his play, but just his personality and everything. You got your head coach fired. You know, they seem to be in shambles. They have like no direction, no leadership. I don't know what's going on there. With Houston, you know, they've been terrible for a while, so this isn't anything new. And despite them losing, they play hard. The last like 2 years, you know, they've been playing hard for Lovie Smith. So is that who's there in Houston? I don't even know who's in Houston.
It is Lovie Smith, yeah. But I think, you know, he might be on the way out.
I don't think so.
You think they'll keep him?
Yeah, I mean, what did he have on the team, you know, that would show that they should win more than two games, whatever they've won so far?
Well, it seemed to me like he's like the Denver coach was, at least personnel-wise, was set up for success, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you look at Lovie Smith's situation, I don't think he was set up for success. I think that they're dealing and wheeling and they're making the team worse. I feel like when you look at these two franchises, Houston Texans have a bigger mountain to climb because they're getting draft picks. They're playing hard.
Mm-hmm.
So what are they missing? What is it they're missing?
Quarterback. That's number one. Weapons, receivers. I can't name. I think Brandon Cooks might be the only receiver I can name on that team. They got a decent running back. He's a rookie, though. And he may have hit the rookie wall. They're young, and it's going to take them a few years, you know, to get a decent roster together. On the other hand, to your point, Denver, we thought had a playoff roster. I think it's actually harder for them, though, because it's not just about X's and O's. It's about changing their culture, their attitude, not having leaders inside the locker room. That's a hard change. I think Houston has a leadership voice, you know, people that they listen to. At least from what I've seen the last couple of years. Like I said, they play hard. With Denver, I don't see it at all. I think you guys see, when I turn their games on, I see them arguing with each other. You know, I see the offensive linemen arguing with Russell Wilson, arguing with the backup quarterbacks. You know, I don't see that in Houston. So I think with Denver, I think you need a complete rebuild. Get rid of some of the, even your top stars. But, you know, just start clean from the top down. Just start fresh. That's what I would do.
So all that money that they spend at the offseason, because they got players. They got good players, Denver does.
Mm-hmm.
So you think they just need a better head coach? Because that Hackett guy was supposed to be like a prodigy.
Yeah, I don't think it's just the head coach. You're stuck with Russell Wilson, who hasn't played well at all. Obviously, that was a mistake, right? I think providing him with that contract and sending your draft picks over to Seattle in return, I think that was a huge mistake, and that's going to set them back for 2, 3, 4 years potentially. But there's no way of getting around that. There's no, trading Russell Wilson. No one's going to take him, right? There's no cutting Russell Wilson.
No, you're basically stuck with him for 4 more years.
Right. So, I think the other guys around them, you're going to have to find people that are just going to go in and work hard, regardless of what's happening, regardless of your loss and win record. They're going to come out and just play hard. And I don't know if the guys that are on the team now were doing that.
Well, the other thing is that, that Denver Broncos, the Walton owns them, which is, basically the Walmart family. So money is no object to them. They're just going to keep throwing money at the issue, at the problem, whatever it might be. I just don't see. I see like a path for them, but not by acquiring players, not by giving out contracts, but like you say, just changing the culture, just bringing in, because their defense was pretty good, and then it started going downhill. And the reason why is because there was so many 3 and outs. I mean, we watched 2 games on primetime. God knows why you put them on primetime. And their offense was terrible.
Well, they were there because the expectation is that they'd be competing for not only the playoffs, but a Super Bowl ring. And we were all fooled. I think everyone was fooled on that. So they're just not a good team. They're not a good coach team. They don't have the leadership that they need. I think Russell Wilson is trying to do his best to be a leader, but they've tuned him out.
Yeah, he was tuned out like week number 2.
Yeah.
When they knew that he couldn't score and for some reason he refuses to use his legs, which was like his go-to out of trouble when he was with the Seattle Seahawks. I don't know why now he just does not want to run with the ball. There's just so many things with his game that you would think that he was playing hurt, but I know he wasn't. So
yeah,
what's going on, Russell Wilson? Let's just move on because I want to talk about Tua. So earlier this week, you sent a group text saying that Tua got snubbed from the Pro Bowl.
He did.
So I want to know. I know we're not Tua fans, so I want to put that out there. But why do you think Tua needs to be on the Pro Bowl?
I'm going to throw out statistics for a second and just talk about fan voting, right? I think it's supposed to make up for like 1/3 of the votes or 2/3. I can't remember exactly what it is. But he led every single player in fan votes. That's number 1. And he didn't make the Pro Bowl. That to me is crazy. And then when you look at his statistics, he's number 1 in terms of like 6 or 7 passing categories. I'm not saying he's the best quarterback in the AFC, but statistically, he had a great season. I know he missed 2 games this season, but for him not to be in the Pro Bowl, I think is stupid, especially when you consider the players that were in, not necessarily the quarterback position, but the Pro Bowl voting, I just think is broken. If TJ Watt, for example, could be in the Pro Bowl and he's played, 6 or 7 games, if that much, this year, and he has, I think, 2 sacks all season. If he can be in the Pro Bowl and he's done nothing, then, and Tua gets snubbed, then that to me shows a broken voting system.
But you said statistically he didn't lead Patrick Mahomes on what?
He led him in. I gotta look.
Because when I look at the passing yards,
yeah, you're looking at, so you can look at one statistic like passing yards. No, he's not first, but he was first pass rating, first in passing touchdowns, interception.
No, he only had 25, and Patrick Mahomes is at 37.
What's the interception though?
11 interceptions. He got 8.
Okay, well. He was passing touchdowns per attempt. He was first. Yards per attempt for quarterbacks, he was first. Yards per completion, he was first.
But that's not what the writers, the journalists, the fans look at. We can look at, well, he was more efficient this year, blah, blah, blah. But he didn't have more yards. He didn't have more touchdowns. Yeah, he definitely had less interceptions, for sure. But,
what do they look at?
If you're a fan, if you're a regular Joe, all you're going to look at is who had the most passing yards? Patrick Mahomes.
I'm not saying Mahomes shouldn't be there. He should be there. He's part of the MVP conversation.
Tua is in the top 10 as far as he's right at number 10. So who got into the Pro Bowl? Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Josh Allen. All these people that have more yards and have more touchdowns. So I'm not saying that he should have gotten in, but They were better players, is what I'm saying. They were better players to choose from.
I think all those you mentioned are better players. I think Tua had a better year statistically than some of those players, like Herbert, for example. You can't tell me Herbert statistically had a better year than Tua. He didn't, even with Tua missing those 2 games. And I think I've put Herbert into my top 5 as quarterbacks, but to me, again, just look beyond the quarterback position. Again, I mentioned T.J. Watt because that's the Steelers. If he can get in, and not play any games, Highsmith doesn't get in. I think he has like 13 sacks at this point, or 14. The system's broken.
Well, first of all, they don't really play the Pro Bowl. Mm-hmm. That is just a flag football game now, right?
But there's huge incentives towards it, right? There's financial incentives to being included in the Pro Bowl voting.
I just think that, yes, he had an outstanding year, but there were better players there. I don't think the system is always could be improved, but I think that he's right where he's supposed to be, especially after missing. You say 3 games. I say he missed 2.5 games because he went out on the protocol and never came back against the Bills. Let's talk about the protocol, because now there's a game against the Patriots on Sunday, and it looks like he's not going to start that game. So should he shut it down for the year, or should he just wait for 2 weeks and come back week 18?
He waits 2 weeks, he might be out of the playoffs. That's the problem, right? So they're in a situation where they basically, I think they need to win 1 to get in. They got the Patriots this week. I think they finished with the Jets, I believe. They got to win at least one to get in for sure. I don't know. It's tough because you got to rely on the doctors. If I was his family member, I'd say no. It's you've had 2 serious concussions, and then you hit your head again. Like, apparently this last game, they didn't catch it during the game, and you're having symptoms again. You definitely shouldn't play this week, that's for sure. But as far as the last game of the season, when they need you, you're hopefully better, healthy, and ready to play. And if they give you the green light that you're able to play, then they got to go with whatever the doctors say.
See,
and that's what they'll do.
And you know what? If I was him, I'd just shut it down for the year. I mean, Waddle's still going to be there. Tyreek Hill's still going to be there. Mike McDaniel's still going to be there. So what's the point? You're going to be a better football player next year, healthy. Mm-hmm. So what would be the point? So your team doesn't make the playoff. You know what? You already missed 3 games. What does it do if you miss 2 more games? And I'm not just saying this because I want the Patriots to win, but dude, this is your health. Mm-hmm. This is why J.J. Watt is basically calling it quit, because he's like, you know what? I played for this league long enough, and I don't need to prove anybody my point. Tua is young, man. He's super young. So why not just shut it down? What, you think your teammates are going to look at you different? No, they're going to be like, you know what? He's putting up his health first.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me, but we don't play football, so we don't know what's going on through his head. Like you said, the doctors are going to tell him, they're going to give him their expert advice, mm-hmm. and then he's going to decide whether or not he wants to shut it down or come back and play.
So according to this, the Dolphins are 4-8 without Tua lifetime. So that's this year. Last year, they're 4-8 basically without him. So you're taking a chance if he's not on the field, but again, it's not just about winning games. It got to be about his health. The problem I'm having, I guess, is if the doctors clear him, then what do you do? Because, they've cleared him before and he played and he got re-injured. So, I don't know if he wants to play. You know, he's going to want to play, and the doctors clear him. Like, what can you do? You can't do anything, right? Yes, he's going to play. It's his choice.
I mean, it's ultimately comes down to his choice, right? But I feel like the Miami I feel like everyone in the Miami organization, their doctors should like recertify, take the test again, because if you got a player that's going through the concussions, protocols, and it happens once, it happened twice, and now this will be the third time in a season that he's got a head injury. Come on, man. Treat him with kid gloves. Be like extra sensitive to this guy's needs. I mean, I don't know. What did you say, Kenny Pickett?
Yeah, he had to this year.
And he came back to play?
Yeah. I mean, they cleared him.
Yeah, he cleared him.
He missed one game, and or he missed 2 games because of the concussion, but they cleared him this week. He came, played, didn't really take any hits this past week, so got a new helmet. He's using a new helmet, started this week, so we'll see how it goes the rest of the way.
See, I think that some people are more sensitive to head injuries than others. And, the NFL, no matter what new technology they come up with, no matter what new program that they say they're going to follow, blah, 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 it just ends up a big old mess.
It's a dangerous sport at the end of the day. So they know that. The players know that's what they sign up for. So, as I think we meaning the doctors, learn more about brain injuries, I think they'll get better at diagnosing it, and they'll get better at knowing what to do when stuff happens. So, it's just going to take, I think, some more time. But, in the meantime, as it stands right now, they got precaution in to try to protect the players. At the same time, though, if the doctors say they're okay, that's what you're going with.
Okay.